while. Have a bamboo pipe I finished. Thought I was going to do some other things to it today, but apparently the solid brass dome head tacks that I ordered, or brad nails if you will, weren't brass, they were brass plated. So anyway, so I'll get it buffed up and get some photos and post it on YouTube tomorrow, make it available. But tried Instagram earlier, and I think a lot of people are just fed up with Meta, period. And a lot of people are fed up with YouTube as well. And yesterday, for oblivious reasons, wasn't feeling up to it. So we're live here. Hey Patrick, I gotta remember this isn't Instagram, and I can't, tap on the screen and say whatever. You working, Patrick, or are you off right now? Oh, yeah, that's the new truck. Well, new to me. It's a 96, and I got lucky. Only 156,000 miles on it, and there were two people before me. One showed up and tried to lowball, and I called back earlier than I was supposed to, just because I had a feeling. And the guy that was supposed to be number two, and these were coming from out of town, and they were probably just gonna flip them. But I didn't argue the price, and I didn't say anything. I said I'm gonna bring 4,500 cash, and so boom, got it. And 96 has the third door on it. It's a 350 5.7 liter V8, same as the old Firebird 77, 78, whatever Camaros, 350 V8 on it. So I really like it. Hey, Jordan Polinsky. That sounds mighty Polish. I'm a Polak. My father's name was Rogaski. The name you see on my YouTube channel is Ravaras because my stepfather adopted me and changed our name. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a little frog somewhere around the water faucet going creaking, croaking. I already have two participants in this chat, and I'm sure by tomorrow morning there'll be somewhere between 200 and 600 bots and trolls on this live, so we'll see how it goes. And so, Pat, you're a moderator, so I expect you to keep your eyes open. Chad may join in. I don't know if he will or not. almost everybody on my chat anymore is now a moderator. Pranav Narayanan. Narayan. Hello. No, Narayanan. Yeah, that's right. Said it right the first time, I think. Oh, Lance, no, I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that's the way things work here. I'm not a I'm not a content creator. I'm a craftsman, hardworking, blue collar, stiff like anybody else. Hey, Carter. Jesus, hello. Mushroom, hello. Mushroom, I know you, so we're gonna make you a moderator also. They're done. Because most of these times I do these lives on YouTube, I have no idea who I'm talking to. Yes, Jesus, we said hello. Thank you. No, it's a loss of life. How should I feel about someone being senselessly murdered or assassinated? So I'll leave it at that. Marlena, hello. So Mushroom and Patrick, it looks like it possibly could be a very busy night for you as moderators. And everybody knows me. I'm willing to talk about anything you want to talk about, willing to discuss anything you want to talk about. But if it's bullshit, the moderators usually don't have as much tolerance as I do. So just letting you know right off the get go. My only caveat is agree, disagree, agree to disagree, but keep it respectable or respectful. I keep wanting to knee jerk and tap because on Instagram Meta, if you're on a live, if somebody pops in, you hit the wave, and if I do that here, the only options I'm going to get is to block, report, or something. It's totally different, so I have to leave this up to my moderators because it's been a long while since I've been on uh, YouTube, Google. Thank you, Mushroom. Yeah, and it has no, I mean, typically you see the rust right there behind the cab. There's no rust on it. I mean, the frame is starting to get a little oxidized, but, I can go and put some boiled linseed oil and drive it down a dusty road and, so it sticks on and stop that. But there's not the typical, we get snow up here. get a lot of snow. But this is a four-wheel drive, and we don't have a lot of salt poured on the road, so not typical like East Coast or Midwest issue. Actually, right there was banged up. There's a slight dent above the behind the wheel, and I used a razor blade and scraped out all the clear coat peel and sanded it 800. And then I used Flow Penetrol, covered that, two coats of it, and it came up pretty good. I mean, you can see it. The dust sticks to it. It's not a clear coat, but it's can be used to thin automotive paint or it actually as a primer for steel or metals. So I didn't worry about it. Let it dry a week or two, and then cures in 24 hours, dry to touch. But anybody in the automotive industry knows that those usually take 3-4 weeks to totally cure. So I put another coat on it. Tailgate, the hood, I did, and the sunroof, and I didn't sand it. I didn't scrape the clear coat peeling off. I just sealed it. I don't care. I'm going for the patina look, but it isn't oxidizing. So I just got a call when I was on Cane Rods Live earlier. I got a message, or I had a phone call from the repairman to fix the skylight that was blown out by ping pong size hail. So he got the replacement. It's amber tinted, and I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just put it in. So he's supposed to come tomorrow, but I told the homeowner. She said, "Yeah, I'm good with that because there is no direct replacement anymore." So he's gonna come tomorrow sometime, fix it, and I'm supposed to take the neighbors to pizza this weekend. And I said, if Dan's here, the handyman, repairman, we can take him too. I mean, I have no problem with that. But well, we'll see how it goes. But I'm waiting to buy new tires until I see how much this is going to cost, because I've given them the go ahead and I have no idea how much it's going to cost. It doesn't matter, it has to be done. I would say it doesn't matter to a certain point. Yeah. And then the 5.7, I'm a little older, so I grew up, that was a 350. It was usually mated to a 350 turbo transmission. So I think the transmission has changed, but basically the block has changed. Only difference is up to this year, instead of a carburetor, you have a throttle body, and then they went EFI. So, but so far, pretty good. Trooper sitting around the corner. They were supposed to diagnose it and do everything before and I supplied the parts, which obviously they didn't warranty, but I said that's no problem. But they said they were going to diagnose this. So I was like, I don't care if you drive it 20 miles down the freeway, up a hill, whatever, you need to know what's going on. So they charged me like $70 to diagnose it, and then the shift shaft seal, the filter, the gasket, everything I paid for. Supplied it, no warranty, no problem. And I'd been in every aspect of the automotive industry for freaking decades. And I didn't tell them that, but driving it back from the shop, I was like, yeah, still doesn't, actually feels a little worse. And then driving 2-3 days later down to the post office and like trying to come up a little like 1 degree grade. I mean, it was winding out. I mean, it sounded like it was gonna freaking grenade on me. I'm like, fucking bullshit. Hey, Oscar. So it's what it is. It's parked around the side. Still got another year of registration on it. I have actually saw it was delivered today. I sent it certified, signature required mail. I went and paid 140 something bucks for a disabled vet permanent plate, and from Medford, 12 miles away, has to go to Salem, a couple hours drive away. Headquarters, DMV, or Department of Transportation headquarters, Oregon, and they said they needed an original signature. I said, this is an original signature, you know. So, so had to call the lady last week that sold it to me, and she sent me everything. I got it Monday. Sent it out to them. They got it today, but apparently they still haven't sent anybody from the DMV headquarters, Department of Transportation headquarters, to pick it up and sign for it yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know what you deleted, Oscar, but I'm assuming it was a bot or troll. So I'm good with it. Actually, I think it actually lets me. Yeah, it says view. So. Yeah, who said this? Cross carcass. Gross carcass. I mean, if that's the Latin spelling, there's something wrong with your logic there, dude. If you, the Quran, to start with, not to offend anybody, my daughter is Muslim. One of my daughters is Muslim. The other one is into kind of witchcraft and stuff, which I don't agree with, but and they know I don't agree with it. But if you look at there's no chronological order to the Quran, and I have friends that from Turkey that were lifelong Muslims until maybe 15, 20 years ago, and they converted to Christianity. That there's nothing loving in Islam. That the Quran is not written in a chronological order. It hops around. If you put it in a chronological order, you see that Allah, whatever it was, or the prophet, if you will, was a widower, and he married a wealthy caravan owner, a widow of a caravan, and it starts out with one message, and then it gets all convoluted, and so there's no chronological order. It all gets shifted around. Yeah, no problem, Oscar. I I'm not saying anything you haven't said here to my daughters, but my friends, I've had several friends, Turkish, that were Muslims their entire lives growing up until they converted to Christianity 15, 20 years ago. And that there is their words, not mine. There's nothing loving in Islam. You know, granted, you could argue that the Christian Bible says certain things, but it doesn't tell you if they disagree with you to go out and slay them, have no mercy on them, or there's 40 virgins, cherubs in the. Yeah, I'm going off topic. Or I'm not going off topic, but it's going to piss a lot of people off. The cherubs are young virgins. If you understand that it's not girls, guys, martyring themselves and going to Allah and Mecca and heaven. They're actually young boys. So, go figure. Just saying. If that offends you, maybe you need to read a little deeper. Maybe you don't understand your own religious beliefs enough, and you don't understand the Christian or Judaism enough. So, let's say study Buddhism, whatever. Read them all. Yeah. I typically don't talk about these things, but if a troll or bot is going to come on my channel and talk about, or if it's a troll, that's one thing. If it's a bot, then they're just trying to feel me out so they can profile me. I don't give a shit. I've got maybe 10, 15 years, maybe 20 on the outside left on this world. I don't care. I, yeah. I mean, if you watch the ambience, like I have tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to say it. A lot of times I listen to live channels, to get that ringing out of my ears so I can sleep. And you look at the chat, you're like, what the? And it's bots talking to bots. Hey, Ghost Rider. And Ghost, guess what? You're a moderator. Just shit on YouTube now is ridiculous. People I know, first time popping in, I'm going to make you all moderators. So if something's going awry, I'm not even going to question it. Like earlier, I looked at it. I didn't complain. So I say what I feel and I believe what I say. So you guys know me. Everything else is just semantics and nonsense. We'll sit out here for a while. It's actually enjoyable to do this when it's a little darker because I don't get washed out by the background and I'm in shadows all the time. But I have a new phone coming. 2 days. And I ordered it day before yesterday. But 2-day delivery from FedEx is Monday apparently now, so go figure. But and they still do Saturday deliveries, so that's easily 5 days out. So at least I know when it's supposed to be getting here, so I can do some other things instead of sitting around the house for 2 days because it has to be signed for. But this phone is 2021, so it's slowing down. Sometimes I can't get it even to function. I can't even get the phone cleaner to work. I have to go through every single app and clear the cache and all that shit, so we'll see what happens. But it didn't end up being as much as I thought. It was $400. Then they had, for my provider, they had a discount because I already had service. So I got that discount, and then because I bought it online, when I went to checkout, it ended up being 230 something bucks. So I was like, okay, 50 megapixel camera, 4 lenses, 3 power magnification, macro, wide angle, low light, and I think up to 30 power magnification. So I was like, that's pretty impressive. Well, after 3 power, I'm assuming it's digitally enhanced. Yeah, because every time I get an update on this phone, it slows down, slows down, slows down. This is a 32 gigabyte built-in memory. I have 268 gigs of additional memory added in. Whether it recognizes that I have to physically switch the memory, and whether it chooses to, like from my camera, my Olympus, to download to it. Sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't. I have to physically remove the card and reinstall it before it recognizes the additional memory. So it's just getting to the point where it's getting glitchy, and I have less than half a gig of space left on the phone, even though I've cleared everything out. And that's what those free apps do to you. They build up this cache, this inventory of information, and it just keeps snowballing on you. You're never going to get rid of it. Need to hire a human or Amazon's. Oh, I have an Amazon stand down in the shop, and I have a extension, quite a long. I think it's like 8, 9 feet microphone I can clip on. That came from somebody. I say that he's on Tuesdays. Last I checked a couple years ago, he's on Tuesdays. JS and family, but I don't talk about that much, and I cut him off because motherfucker dropped trousers and sent me a picture of his shit. I'm like, fuck that. And I'm not the only one who's done it to. Some well-known people out there, he's done the same thing to. And I found out about that later, and they were actually upset that it had happened to me because I didn't say anything. I said, no, it's okay, so it's what it is. But anyway, moving ahead. know what you're saying. AKP. P. So I'm gonna kick him. I know what you're saying. So anyway, new phone will be interesting. Especially it's supposedly has higher ISO ratings, and unlike this one, where I can't, you know, I can see the focus and the screen. I get the little circle, and I can't lock the ISO or the focus, and just as this thing's on live. So hopefully the newer one will actually be able to let me adjust the ISO or the exposure. So you guys that know me, know man, a lot of pain most of the day doing what I'm doing, and last year and a half, 2 years, it's been really bad. But so when you see me on here, I'm drinking because I'm winding down. I'm killing the pain. I don't like the meds they give me, and a lot of the meds don't do shit. So I'm just hanging out with you guys, and this is me, So if I say something inappropriate, or you feel offended by it, I mean, by all means, feel free to say, dude, what the fuck, or shut the fuck up. So I have no problem with that. I've heard that before, Patrick. I'm not sure what a natty daddy Oscar is. I have no idea what that is. So, Mushroom, you work at nights, or you just, I mean, coffee doesn't bother me at any time. I'm not one of those guys, if I had coffee after 4 p.m., I can't sleep. I always sleep. But most people don't drink the caffeine condiments, if you will, beverages, after 4 or 5 p.m. because they can't sleep. Yeah, I mean, coffee, tea, none of that bothers me. I still have no problem sleeping. Well, I shouldn't say I have no problem sleeping. I have problems sleeping, but they're no different if I drink tea or coffee or beer or whatever. I still wake up 5 hours later. So last night I was so tired I went to bed around 9:30. I thought it was later, and I looked at my watch and I was like, "Oh shit, it's only 9:30." I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm tired." I went to bed. I was up by midnight. I was up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then finally got up around 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. Um, mm, I wouldn't. I don't know that I agree with that because I don't know, but I, for me, my whole skeletal system, I'm 60% VA disabled for lower back, and the initial injury was upper neck, and they still haven't even rated me for that, so they're giving me 60%. They whacked my knee, and it didn't even freaking move. My leg didn't even move, so. And in Oregon, they're on a different system. They're one of five in the VA system, Veterans Administration, that has this, and they can't even see the medicines that were. So I just refilled the prescription from Sacramento, my primary, and I called them day before yesterday here in White City, Oregon, about 10 miles south of me. And they said, we don't see that. And so I gave them the doctor's orders, and they said, was that from the pulmonary function or was that from your primary? I said, it's from my primary after a pulmonary function. So they're giving me everything I need except for that one, which there's three of them I have to take every day. And I was like, fuck. So I went on to My Healthy Vet, and, I, and so those will be here Monday. And now I'm waiting to hear back. I mean, even in Sacramento, if Mather VA called me and I missed a call, I could call them back and say, oh, I missed a call. Somebody called me from the VA, and they said, oh, well, yeah, we'll put you through. This is about such and such, or that's okay. Here, I call them. They're like, I'm just calling back the number. And they said, we don't know who called you. I said, I'm calling back the number that called me. How do you not know who fucking called me? This is after another pulmonary function exam. I was like, fuck me. I mean, I'm not dying today. I don't think I'm dying today, but nothing worse than because there's so many fires in Oregon and Washington, the way the wind patterns, the weather patterns work. Sometimes you can't even see the mountain half a mile away. I mean, this whole summer, there's a lot of times I couldn't see the mountains half a mile away, just down the driveway. I had to stay in the house all day long, but and I had several calls after a pulmonary function test at White City VA, and I had calls after that, and so I missed them because I didn't hear them because I told them just if I don't answer, leave a fucking voicemail or leave a callback number or leave a message, something, and they don't. Here in Oregon, they don't. Like, so when you call them, they're like, you call back the number that called you, and they're like, I don't know who called you. Oh, like, somebody just fucking called me. I mean, literally, like 10 minutes ago from here. Who? And they can't tell you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of good. I've heard a lot of people talk shit about the VA doctors and stuff, but I, granted, there are a few doctors, and I've had a few of them. The first three of my doctors at the VA were just there to bolster their CV, their curriculum vitae. But the last doctor I've had, he's Dr. Vanilla, uh, L. Larson Vanilla. He said I ain't going nowhere, and he's been my primary care physician for at least 10 years, 12 years. You know, if I was right, I argued something with him, and he was right, and it's like, yeah, you're right. And if I was wrong, he would rip me a new asshole, you know. So, and but it's a guy I respect because he's not worried about bolstering his CV, if you will. He was more to him. It was more about serving. I don't know if he had relatives that were veterans or whatever or not, but that was more his mission, is serving the veterans. That was where his heart was. So, you know, if you don't have a doctor, you can have a discord with the, and they're just, popping up Google shit, which even my doctor in Sacramento has done before. I was like, really? I was like, you're popping up Google answers. I could have done that shit, I could actually do one better than that. I have the medical dictionaries. I can pop this shit up to you. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of times you do feel like one more lamb or cow going down the chute to the slaughterhouse. Yeah, just waiting to be bolted in the head. I mean, it. I've been fighting the VA since 1989 for the neck and back injuries, and they only literally gave that to me Thanksgiving Day, the day I moved up here, or the day before, the 28th last year. They gave it to me the day before, and I was like, motherfucker, just fucking waiting for you to die first. And now I have to for the and because Oregon doesn't connect with California because they're one of five on a different system. And luckily, I have all my medical records all printed out. And I was like, fuck, here, type that shit in, you know. But apparently, I have to go through all the audiology, the pulmonary function I've already done. I have to go all do all these tests that are freaking 30, 50, 100 miles away. I'm like, fuck, you know. And it's not like I can just, call 911 and I go to the VA like in Sacramento. I end up at some little clinic or some shit first. I'm like, fuck me. But luckily, I mean, it's a little challenging up here for most things, but my breathing, my respiratory, my health has been much, much better up here. Yeah. Yeah, Oscar, I've had all the tests. It's all documented. The problem is Oregon is on a system for the last few years, apparently, what they told me, that is separate from My Healthy Vet. And it's and you have to go into My VA Health. And it's a different thing. And I actually was on the phone, like I said earlier, with the, oh, actually, she called me because I talk to the pharmacist, so he couldn't direct me to the right place, so I had to call and leave a message or send a secure message. And she called me back the next day, and she asked me, who prescribed this for you? I was like, my primary care physician, in Sacramento. What's his? And I said, I'll give you his name. So actually, I looked at my Healthy Vet. I still had prescription active, and I'm looking at the Oregon version of it, and I was like, it's still active. How can I see it and you don't see it? So I gave her his name, and she said they're going to try to contact. But in the meantime, I went to Mather VA and refilled the prescriptions. They should be here Monday and Tuesday. I was like, how can I see this and you don't fucking see it? I mean, they probably could, but they're just not interested in, because they're just receptionists or scheduling. They don't give a shit. They're just doing their job, quote unquote. I Ghostwriter, shoot me an email. I I might uh, I might have a email for Doug. I actually think it is Doug at cargohold.com or at Gmail, or could be, and I'm not certain, but he could be a little older. He could be an Earthlink or whatever. But yeah, well, I luckily, Oscar, I have a record of printed record of all my documents. So, Ghost, do you have my email? It should be all on computer, but because Oregon is one of 5 experimental whatever. I mean, dentistry is easier here than it was in other states, but okay. Yeah, just send me a email and with an explanation, a header on it, so I know where it's coming from. I don't confuse it with spam or whatever, and shoot me that message, and I will look. After this live, I'll go and look for it. Give me 1 minute. Gotta use the restroom. Senior moment. Sorry about that. Okay, Mushroom, take care. Yeah, I understand that, Oscar. So, Mushroom, I went in and I was hoping it was like YouTube or Instagram, or, you know, if I have to go in to the house to use the restroom or something, or get a breathing treatment, I can pull it up on the laptop. Apparently, YouTube doesn't work like that. So, phillipara@gmail.com. You can, and normally I would be able to text it in here, but it's not allowing me a text. It's not allowing me on the phone anymore to add text. So we'll finish next 5-10 minutes. Finish this drink with you guys, and I'm gonna go in and have some lukewarm leftovers. Hey, Troy. I had the pulmonary function a few months ago, because there's so many forest fires and stuff up here, and then from Washington and other states that circle around. I'm trying to stay out of the ER, and so they made me do another pulmonary function, and so I did the pulmonary function, and I did well. But I told them I wake up at 4 a.m. I have to take these meds, otherwise there's no way I would be at this 10 o'clock appointment. I would be in the ER already. So they noted it, and they said that was fine. And then I got several phone calls. They had to send the results to Portland, Oregon, and then get feedback from them. And I got several calls that showed up as Portland, Oregon, and I missed them because I don't hear it. And so I call, and they're like, I don't know. I was like, what the fuck? it's, it's, oh my god. In some ways, it's good, because the dental care up here for vets is better, because most places outside of these 5 zones, that wherever, and this one is included, don't provide dental. Here they do, but when you try to call them, if you missed a call, they can't even tell you who called you when you dial back the same number that called you. Fucking ridiculous. Transportation, Roy. No, Roy, T. Roy is a good guy. He's been a little AWOL lately, Troy. I know in the last several lives I've done, I think you popped into 2 of them, but I know life gets in the way sometimes. We can't always do what we want to do. And Troy has more relatives and birthdays and funerals and weddings than a litter of pigs or litter of rabbits, I would say. So, joking with you. Okay, thanks, Ghost. I probably won't respond to it today. You'll see it sometime after I get up in the morning and have time to clear my head and respond. Usually, when I'm hanging out with you guys, whether it's here on YouTube or Instagram, you know, I'm drinking, and so we can shoot the shit, whatever. But when it comes down to the hard facts of things, I typically don't respond till the next day when I'm clear-headed and awake. Hey, Brutal. Anyway, Ghost, have a good evening, sir. Take care. God bless. Be well. Remember, can't be good, be great. Can't be great, be fucking awesome. Um, Not to sound fat-headed or anything, but I enjoy Kane Rod's lives. I enjoy Chad's, Charlie when he doesn't. Well, he doesn't do lives, but his posts. I enjoy Mike when he does his videos, and I enjoy my lives when you guys join in. Yes. This is more the old school, and I'm just gonna say it that everybody knows I have an issue with Team Freedom. You know, bunch of pissy guys, and only one or two of them actually has combat experience. You know, calling for everybody to act. And I was like, lead the way, motherfucker. You know, so but that's just me. I mean, that's my opinion. That's my point of view. So take it or leave it, love it or hate it. I don't care, but I always try to be, and I demand everybody shows the same respect. I don't care if you call bullshit on me. If you think I'm saying bullshit, call me out. And put me on the spot. And the same thing with any of you guys. You're my friends. You're my brothers. If I think it's bullshit, I'll call bullshit on you too. So I have no problem with that. Hopefully, it doesn't get me fucking assassinated. But at this point in my life, that might be a blessing. So baloney. Yeah, beef or pork baloney? I'm just asking. So, I mean, Glenn Dropper Woodworks hasn't been on for quite a while. He's back to work for the last couple 3 years. But I even on the Zoom meets, I couldn't always hear, and so I'd be talking over people. That's my problem on lives. If I hear an awkward moment of silence, I try to interject, or I try to, get a word in with a stick of dynamite or a wedge before I forget what I was thinking of. And I told Glenn years ago, I said, dude, if I don't always hear it, I said, just tell me, Phil, shut the fuck up. So, so they started doing that, and now guys like Arts, Mugs and Embers, or Peter Piper, New York City, they start saying thank you, Phil, thank you, and once I hear it, I was like, okay, shut the fuck up, thank you, Phil. So it's all good with me. Yeah, I used to be able to pop in text or emoji on here, but this it's totally changed in the last updates, and this is oh god, and I just picked up the phone and it did some other shit that I wasn't expecting. Dropped up a whole freaking drop down menu. So I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna click around on the buttons. I'm afraid I'm gonna bugger this if I try to. Yeah, well, I'm not hammered, but I drink just enough to numb the pain and go to sleep. Or semblance of hammered, quote unquote, when I was taking the VA frickin' painkillers, which I've stopped all of them. So for me, it's PBR, beer, or whatever is. At least I know what that's gonna do to me, and I know how to manage it. No, I got you, Oscar. I have no problem with that. I mean, I pray for the day that I can sit through a whole live that I've started and not have to go off for a geriatric break or be drinking beer to get through the night. So, no problems at all, Oscar. And I have a lot of friends that are in AA or been 20 years, 30 years, whatever, in AA, and still define themselves as recovering. Like, no, dude, you're freaking over it. But I've quit smoking and quit drinking so many times, but unfortunately, nicotine and alcohol are the most effective painkillers for me right now. Anyways, gentlemen, I gotta go and get some supper in my belly, watch a movie, and go to sleep. And hopefully, we'll do this a little more often than I have been, because I've been up here almost a year now. It's been quite challenging. Everything is quite challenging. Living almost off grid, if you will. But I appreciate y'all popping in. And we will do it again soon. I promise we'll do this again soon. Yeah. Take care, gentlemen. Like I always say, be good. If you can't be good, be great. If you can't be great, be freaking awesome. Love you guys. Be good. Take care of each other. Good night, gentlemen.